Hey everyone, today we're back at this lake drain, the one that draws water from the river under the road into a canal down to the small man-made lake, into the drain and back to the river. That's how they keep fresh water flowing at all times. But what is this thing that's randomly put up here? It appears there's no blockage in there. Maybe that was somebody's attempt to unblock it. But what is this thing? To be honest, the way it's here, this could have easily just floated here when the water level was slightly higher last night. But let's look down inside here. Does not appear to be any debris other than what I'm touching right now. Whoa, whoa. No stick. No. Cool shaped stick. Come on out of here. Got it. What is this thing? The way it's placed here, it appears the water probably put it here last night and left it here by chance. Because you see by the evidence, this river was probably almost 2 feet higher last night. So we'll leave this up by the road so the next maintenance crew can take it away. Or, if they did put it there for whatever reason, they can put it back. But I think it floated there. So let's look at the other side. A lot more water coming in than usual, because the higher the river is, the more is going to blast through this little man-made thing. And you see the pile of dirt there? They just dug this out with an excavator this past summer. Now it's about a 2-mile walk to the drain. The small man-made lake appears to be over capacity. You can see how it's all up inside the grass. Appears to be higher than usual. Alright everybody, we're finally making our way to the drain. You can tell by the debris here, this river was probably about 18 inches higher. You see how the grass near the edge is all knocked over from yesterday's storm? Definitely a place we got to check out if we think of it during the spring thaw. So this is the water being discharged back into the river. This is all coming out of the lake drain. Hear that noise? Awesome. We gotta go check that thing out. It's burping like crazy because it's trying to start a siphon. Oh, there is a little bit of a clog there, but we'll show that in a minute. Listen to this awesome noise. Cool. That is so cool. This culvert is more damaged than it was last time. Remember? There was a lot of stuff there last time. It burped it all away. That's because it's really close to capacity. It almost wants to get to that point where it starts to siphon. So what's happening is, as it becomes over capacity, it starts a siphon for a few seconds and it keeps breaking. If it had a little bit more water, it might be able to make a siphon. Let's see what's on the other side today. Little bit of debris. Yeah, that thing's gonna start flowing a little bit more. Now let's get out to this drain and help it out. All right, that drain is completely open now. Awesome. And I can tell, you see how in the middle it's having problems? Oh, I got a piece of rotten leaf on my finger. That's what that was. Anyways, see how the middle, it's not in like any, it's not trying to get it out of there fast enough because the pipe is undersized for this size drain. That's why it's doing all that gulping stuff. Yesterday wasn't even a big storm. You see that river? It's a couple feet over capacity, or not over capacity, that's the wrong word. A few feet higher than usual. It's not even close to flood stage. Anyways, we gotta look at the discharge of this. This location always looks so beautiful. Got a beaver lodge over there. None of this stuff was placed there by the beavers. It's all storm surge, which is kind of amazing. Some of this stuff is cut by beavers, but it's really old, meaning it just got loose and floated over here. But check this out. These are heavy bars. It may appear that they're bending, but that's only because of the way the water looks. Years ago at the old lake drain, they were actually bending, but that's because it had a joint in the middle. But look how cool this is. See the air right there trapped? Look at the air trapped right there. You see how the torrent's coming together? Look at this. That is so cool. So much water coming in here right now. And this right here, if you wanted to drain it even further, you would lift this thing up. Now that's all beaver debris in there. See all this beaver debris? It looks like at one point they were trying to build a dam up around the entire thing. But what I saw today was not done by beavers. If it was, there'd be all kinds of little fresh material mixed in with it. But this drain is awesome. I tell you, this drain is like so awesome. But the pipe in the ground is undersized. If the pipe in the ground was a little bit bigger, it wouldn't be having the issue, because this thing, you can tell, it's very, very close to being too much water. Now this is what we got out of there. All the small debris there was stuck around the edge, and then the bigger stuff right there is just rocked in chunks that probably fell in during a storm. We had high winds last night. That's why I knew this clog would be starting here. Yes, definitely more water coming out now. Definitely more water after unclogging that. Look at it now. We have like, it's more sudsy. Look at it, how much it's changed since what we started with. Here's before. And here's after. That looks so cool. There's so much torrent on the other side stirring this water up. It's so over aerated right now. It's awesome. So much aeration. You see how it's not gulping as heavily before? It's very, very close to becoming a siphon at the moment. And you see how deteriorated the pipe is on the end? That's from the freeze and thaw cycles. When this thing was barely flowing about a month or so back. The inside is in pretty good condition. It should be replaced sometime in the next 5 years or so, but it's not gonna wash out. And you can see right here, it's coming out so clear. It's not digging, it's not eroding. It's having no issues right now, other than it being a little bit small. That is so cool. Now we gotta go up to the other side and we're gonna clean up our workspace. Put this in a neat pile for the DOT to take away. Don't you just love the optical illusion that makes it look like the entire thing is bending? So cool. Once you're actually out there above it, you can't see it. It's just the angle. And now on the other side, before we take off, let's just see what's going on. You can tell that it's way above capacity because you see on the edge, all the grass underwater are pushed over. A lot more coming out of here than usual. But there's also evidence up here in the spring. This entire river backs up here, touching the exit of that culvert pipe. And over here, in years past, that lake drain has completely clogged. And that's what this is right here. When that thing clogs, it'll overflow right here. And eventually, if it goes unchecked long enough, it could wash out this entire hill. And over here, in the next few years or so, if they don't replace the culvert pipe going from this drain to the river, if that thing gets big enough holes on the inside like it has over on this freeze and thaw cycle side, over there is really deteriorated from the changing temperature. But right here, it's protected by the ground, at least for now. But eventually, if it's not replaced, it's going to start deteriorating like the old lake drain, and it will cause a big sinkhole inside of the embankment here, and it would suddenly just open a big sinkhole and wash out the entire thing. Then the man-made lake would be drained. Anyways, pretty cool. Definitely water was passing through right here once, because you see it only has to go up maybe 18 more inches before it starts topping right here. And you can see a lot of soil is missing. There's a big drop. But by the evidence, that was probably maybe in the spring, possibly the spring it did that. During the spring thaw, we'll have to check this thing out for ourselves. On the way back to the vehicle, look at this. This is really fresh beaver stuff. Look at this. Whole bunch of trees right here being cut down. They're probably making a reserve of food for the winter, where they'll cut down a whole bunch of small trees, sink them in the lake, so when the lake becomes frozen, they can just chew on them underneath the water, and they never have to come out of the pond. Beavers do not hibernate. They are still active all winter underneath the ice. They will come out if they have to, but they don't like to. So everybody, in today's video, there was no evidence that any of this was done by the beavers. It was just from yesterday's storm. We had a windstorm that knocked a bunch of things into the water, went over and kind of plugged it up. It's been a month. If it was beavers, it would have been completely jammed in a month's time. Now this right here, I do not like this thing at all. You see how right here a bunch of the concrete is deteriorated, rebar pushed over, probably a big sheet of ice in the spring thaw smashing by this thing. But anyways, they have pieces of wood here, so too much water cannot enter the man-made lake because it could overwhelm that drain. Now here's the thing I don't like. Right here, even if they stack these in here, a small storm like this, it will stop flow in there. But what happens during a spring thaw when the water is up to about where I'm standing? It's just gonna pour over the broken sides and the wood will do nothing. If it pours over the broken sides, that's gonna pressurize the water and push a severe amount through here. And I think that will overtake the lake drain, and that's why we have all the deterioration of where the water was flowing over the dam, causing damage. I think it's this inlet structure needs serious attention. Or outright put something in front of the culvert right there to reduce that. Or probably, you know, probably be the cheapest option for them. That would cost a lot of money to rebuild this entire structure up high enough where the storm water wouldn't be able to get in. Honestly, I think what they could honestly do with an excavator, first block the end of the culvert, dig up the middle of the dirt road right here, put a valve in there with a stem coming up to the top. Make sure they take the key for kids don't play with it. And when they're expecting big storms, come out here, have a guy turn it. They're in a spring thaw, literally just shut the whole thing off because it's going to have water running off the street, all these properties into the pond. I think they should just put a whole valve in here. Massive butterfly valve. I think that would probably be the cheapest option here, rather than having to do the whole structure over again, which would have a butterfly valve anyways. Thanks for watching.